Okay, everybody. So today I'm going to go over part one of the variables unit, and we're going to take a look at some tips and some ways that I would have approached those problems. For those of you that are following, this video would supplement what I would do in class if you had trouble with these variables problems. I'd come over to your spot and I would help you in the same way I'm going to do online right now. So feel free to watch this and get the help you need to help understand part one of variables. So as you can see, I'm on my website. I'm going to go to Computer Science 20S and down to the week that we are in, week 8. And here you can see right here under week 8 that it's the variables unit we want to look at right now, including part 1 and part 2 of variables. Actually, we're just going to do part 1 right now. Just look at part 1. And we're going to look at assessments 1 and 2. Those are the two I'm going to go over right now. Okay. So if you were doing this on your own, I would absolutely recommend that you would click on the part 1 video on variables and you should absolutely watch this so you get a feel for what variables are and how they work. And
it's an example of why computer scientists...
And you can also read part 1. So the presentation is there for you to take a look at and scroll through and read all about variables. Okay, very important that you grasp that concept. Further along in the presentation is the example that we would do in class, right? So the actual example of right here where you have the code. Also on my website, there is a link to example 1. If you just want to look at the code in a more pure way, you can certainly scroll down, and right here you can see the code in action. Okay, so this is the example, and in this example there's lots of stuff that would give hints for how to do the first problem. The hints are also available for you as well right here. So you can see right here the word hints would open up the hints presentation. This is the thing that I always have running in class on work days. And if you scroll through, there's hints for the last unit, and then here's the hints for variables part 1. So in these hints, it tells you which lines may not be needed, which lines will be needed, any changes that you need to make are right there. So variables part 1, the actual work we're going to be doing would be this right here, this pet shop problem. Okay, so on your time, what I'd recommend is you read through the description, you look at what I've designed here, and if it's still not clear, then what I'd actually recommend is go into the variables unit folder. Okay, you have the hints, you have the description, you have some example code, you have some notes, you have a video, and now you can also go into the folder and go to demonstrations and actually download a working copy of this problem to try. So I'm going to download problem 1. Okay, you can't just run it directly off the website, and then I can run it. Oh man, let's try it again. Thinks it's a virus. Let's try it again. Run anyways. Okay, so there it is. And I could enter an age, say 23, and it would show me my age in dog years. Okay, so here's the design. Again, trying to save time. I've done the design ahead of time. We're going to double click the woof button to write code for what happens when they click woof, and we'll also write code for what happens when they hit exit. Exit is the line application dot exit with 2 round brackets. This line of code right here is something you can always get working quite easily to just exit a program. There's another line that does this, the line this dot close. That also works. This one's a little bit better because it shuts everything down. So we'll just test that before we go and code the woof button. And exit. There we go. It exits the program. Now on to the woof button. Okay, zoom in. Give myself some space. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the picture, or the pic of the dog dot visible to be true. This is something we should have learned in the last unit, making pictures by just saying the name of the object dot the property equals a new value. And I can test that before I do anything else. So if I hit woof, the picture would appear. Okay. But now the new content for this unit, making a variable. I'm going to make this variable an integer. Okay? It's the dog's age. But before I do that, and again, going through and looking at the hints, I need to pull out a number from a text box. So I'm going to do that by making a string, a value that I'm going to get from txtAge.text. This pulls a value out of the text box. It's right now a string variable because it's text. Now I'm going to convert that into a human age, the age of the human. And I'm going to use convert.toInteger32 of that value. This is a tricky line if you haven't seen this before. It is covered in the hints right here. You can see that same thing happening, pulling text from a text box, storing it as a value, and then converting it to a number. Okay, you can see that's also talked about right here and right here in the hints. So that's why the example was important, was to grasp those concepts. I'm not calling it number because now this is a specific problem where now what I'm actually reading in is the age of the human. And now finally I can convert that into a dog's age by taking the human age and multiplying it by 7. This formula for doing this is put right on the problem sheet itself. Okay, so right here it says this is how you can convert a human age into a dog age. So that's why it was important to read the description of that problem to get that there. Okay, then the final thing I need to do is I need to show this change in the label I have right here for the answer. So LBL, okay, age.text equals, we start with some words. Oops. There we go. Your dog age is, and then I'm going to attach to that the dog age. Okay. So this would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code that's going to make this problem work. Let's just try. Put the age of 10 in here and click woof. Your dog age is 70, and there's the picture right there. And I can exit. This would complete that particular problem. Okay? I would then hand it in. Okay? And yes, I've included the hand-in instructions here as well. So you can go into the hand-in instructions and you can read all about how to hand in problem 1. You can learn about which screen captures you take, how to copy and paste your code, everything you need to get that one handed in. Okay, let's dive into problem 2 now. Okay, so with problem, I'm just going to close up problem 1. Problem 2 is the temperature converter problem. Okay, it is very similar to the dog age problem. What's different, it's added a few more features, a few more buttons, and a slightly different formula. Once again, I have given you the formula right here. So if you read through this, you will find the formula right there. Okay, so here's the CRAP radio problem. Let's do some of the easy stuff first. Let's once again code that exit button. And what I often recommend to students when doing this second problem is to use the first problem as a hint. So although I don't have it open right now, It would be very handy for me to open up the dog age problem, and I would have got this line of code really quickly from that dog age problem. Okay, now let's do the convert. In a lot of ways, it's the same idea. You take a string from the text box, the text out of the text box. Now I'm going to convert it to a variable. This time, because it's temperature, I'm going to use a double because I want decimal precision here. So the amount of Celsius I convert to a double that value. Okay, so now the Celsius temperature has been converted. Now I'm going to calculate the Fahrenheit temperature. Here, I can use that formula. Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. There's the formula. Right off the sheet, I've calculated the amount of Fahrenheit temperature. Now, I'm going to take the temperature and put that Fahrenheit temperature plus some words, degrees. This time I'm putting the text after the variable, whereas in the dog one, I put it before. And finally, I should have maybe done this first. The picture of temperature.visible will become true. In this case, I'm doing it last. But the order in which these things are executed doesn't matter as much. Finally, before I even test this, I'm going to code the reset button. The reset button is going to do two things. One, it's going to take this picture of the temperature and change true to false. Notice how nice copy paste is to help with this. Also, it's going to take the text box and clear the text out of there. So it's going to make the text just a blank piece of text. This is also a hint on the sheet as well, how you could do that. And since I'm doing that with the text box, I might as well do that with my label as well. Okay, so I've got all my code in. Let's see how it works. Put in -5 or 8.2. I'm going to convert it. There's the degrees Fahrenheit. There's where the picture would pop up. Here's reset. Here's exit. We're all good. Okay? Probably I would have said Fahrenheit right here. So it's that many degrees Fahrenheit. But you get the idea, right? So 2.5, convert, 36.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Reset, exit, and problem 2 is done. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. It should take you again through week 8 to help with variable assessment 1 and variable assessment 2. I'm not going to go over the case study because the case study has everything you need to know how to do the case study right in the case study. Next week, we'll look at 3 and 4 of the variables unit. Okay, guys, stay safe.